You want to go on a backpacking trip for the first time? Let's give you the confidence and the courage to get out there and make this thing happen. Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel, Outside with Kalani Shots. My name is Kalani. If you're new here, I'm so happy that you found me. And if you are returning, welcome back. Okay. So, you want to go on a backpacking trip for the first time? I'm going to get you out there. Okay, so in today's video, I am going to share with you 5 steps to get you outside in the backcountry on your very first backpacking trip, okay? There's no need for you to be sitting around at home or on your phone watching YouTube videos of everybody else outside in the backcountry when you can be right there with them enjoying yourself. So let's give you the confidence and the courage to get out there and make this thing happen. You ready? Okay, let's do it. The first step to getting you outside and in the backcountry on your very first backpacking trip is to decide. There are a few things, a few decisions that you have to make, okay? And so there are actually 4 decisions that you have to make. The first decision is to decide if you want to go solo on your own or if you want to go with a group. Now, I'm okay with going solo, but I know that everyone out there is not. So get you a couple of friends, do it together. If you don't have anyone that you know that's near you that likes this type of stuff, backpacking and camping and all of that type of thing, you can go on Facebook. I'm not a Facebook girly, but I do know that there are lots of different groups all over the country that have backpacking pages on Facebook where they get together on random weekends or whatever and go on backpacking trips. So do a little research in your area on Facebook, maybe Instagram, I don't really know, but I know definitely Facebook. Join the groups. Most of the time it's free, and then find out what they have going on and see if you can hop in with them on a group backpacking trip. So that way you won't be alone. The next thing you have to decide is when you want to go. So look at your calendar, figure out what days you have available or what days you can take off if you have a job that you go to or if you go to school. And I usually like to talk with my husband and we'll see what's coming up on our schedule in the next couple of months. And I usually will pick a random weekend that we don't already have something going on, and I'll assign it to myself and I'll put backpacking trip. So decide when you want to go. And normally I'll decide how many days I want to go and how many miles I want to hike and what trail. With the days, I'll usually pick, okay, how many days do I want to hike? And then I'll have one extra day that I'm home, not doing anything, so I can rest and recuperate from the backpacking trip. So the number of days I'm actually going to hike plus one extra day. Pick what trail I want to do and how many miles I want to do. So if this is your first backpacking trip, I recommend keeping it really low and keeping it close to home. So there is an app, it's called All Trails. That's one of the apps that you can use to look up different hiking and backpacking trails. It's a free app and you can go on there and they have different filters that you can use. You can put in the number of miles, you can put in that you want to go backpacking, you can narrow it down to a certain location. Once you put in the filters that you want, you hit enter and it will populate the different trails that are available to you that meet your criteria. And so I use that app a lot to find new trails and figure out where I want to go on my backpacking trips. So that is an app you can check out. There are other apps, like I've used Far Out when I was on the Pacific Crest Trail, on the John Muir Trail. They have lots of longer trails on that app, but I also think they've been adding shorter ones too. Now that one is an app that you have to pay for. So There's AllTrails, which is free. You can use Far Out, and I'm sure lots of other apps as well. But those are the two that I use most frequently. So, step 1, decide. Group, solo, what dates you're going to go, what trail you're going to go on, and how many miles you're trying to do. And like I said, if it's your first one, just keep it to a short overnight, maybe hike a few miles in, camp, spend the night, wake up, hike a few miles back out, just to get your feet wet just a little bit. Step 2, to get you out there on your first backpacking trip, is it's time to do a little research. Yes. And for me, there are usually 3 things that I will research. The first thing I'll research is the weather. I really like to know what the weather is going to be like for my trip because it helps me with some of the other steps that are coming up next. So what I normally do is I'll go to the weatherchannel.com and I'll type in like the zip code for the area that I'm going or the city for the area that I'm going. And on that website, not only do they have like the forecast for today, but they'll have like a 10-day forecast, and they also have like a month in advance forecast. Of course, that will probably change as you get closer and closer to your date, but it's something that you can use to figure out what's going to be going on when I'm planning to go there. Is it most likely going to rain? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to get exceptionally cold? These are great things for you to know for some of the steps coming up. So check the weather. It's your friend. It cannot be your friend, but it's your friend if you know in advance what's going to happen. The next thing that I do a little research on is whether or not the trail I'm hiking has permit requirements. So normally in Texas and the places that I go to, permits are not required, so it's not a thing that I have to worry about. But sometimes they are required. So like when I went to Big Bend, I did need to get a permit that I had to pay for in order to hike that trail. So just do a little research and find out if a permit is required and how much that permit costs. The other thing that I like to research is parking. The first time I ever went to the LBJ Grasslands, I went there and I had done a little bit of research about the parking, and they had campgrounds. And so when I got there, I didn't see anywhere else to park. So I parked in like a campground spot where if I wanted to, I could have like set up a tent and did that whole thing, but I just used it to park my car, and I had to pay a fee in order to park there because technically it's a campground. It wasn't until later, after I started hiking the trail and I walked a little further, that I saw there was another spot that I could have parked that wasn't a part of a campground that I could have parked for free. And there were actually other locations throughout the trail that crossed roads that had parking that I could have parked for free, but I didn't know. So definitely do your research, figure out all the different locations that you can possibly park and what will be the best for you for the situation that you're going to be in. And also just bring a little cash with you just in case. When I was on that LBJ Grasslands one for the first time, it was one of those like honor systems where you have to fill out your own parking permit, and they required cash. So bring cash with you just in case. So those are the different things that I researched: the weather, permits, and parking information. Okay, step 3 to get you out there and in the backcountry on your first backpacking trip. There are a few things that you will need to create. The first thing that I like to create is a packing list, okay? So you've looked up the trail you're gonna go on, the number of miles you're gonna be hiking, what the weather's gonna be like, and that is gonna help you tremendously when it's time to create your backpacking list of the things that you want to bring. Because weather determines a lot as far as what you're putting in your pack. If it's gonna be a super warm day, no rain in sight, then there's a lot of things that you can leave behind. But if it's going to be a cold day, there's a lot more that you have to bring, and normally that's going to make your pack weight a little bit heavier. But that's okay. We want to be prepared for whatever conditions are going to arise on your trip. So create your backpacking list. Another reason why I create a list is because in the past, I've been so excited about my trip and I'm like, I know what I need to bring. And I start packing my bag the night before or the morning of, like right before it's time to go. I pack it all up and then I get to where I'm going and I realize that I've left something that was important or that I really wish that I would have brought with me on the trip. So if you create that list in advance and then the night before or the morning of when you're packing your backpack, you just check off the things that you're putting into your bag. It just helps to make sure that you don't leave anything behind and you have everything that you really want on the trip with you. So that's the first thing I create. The second thing that I create is kind of a just baseline itinerary for myself. When do I want to leave? Like to head out to the trail. How many miles do I want to hike on that first day? Where on the trail are some good camping spots? Where do I think I'll want to set up camp? When do I plan on getting back to my vehicle the next day? Things like that. Where are good water sources that I can treat water if I need to? So I like to look up that kind of stuff and write them down so that way I have a general idea of what I want to do. Okay, step 4 for getting you out there in the backcountry on your very first backpacking trip is safety and accountability. There are some things that we need to share before we go out there. One of the first things that I like to do is either print off maps of the trail, or you can purchase a map depending on where you're going and if they have something like that for you to purchase. But a lot of times I'll like to print off a copy at home so that way I have it to look at. I mean, I know nowadays everything is on our phone, but sometimes technology can fail us. And when it does, or if it does, it's really good to just have a backup. And a lot of times I pull up my map just to kind of get a good idea of where I am and a bearing on my location, especially if on my phone is not matching up with where I think I am, or it says I'm off trail a little bit. I like to pull out the paper map to help myself a little better. So print off a couple of copies of the paper map. Okay, the next thing that you're gonna share is that map that you printed off. You're gonna share that map along with that itinerary that you created, okay? You're going on your first backpacking trip. The people who love and care about you, if they haven't done this thing before, they're gonna be a little nervous and they're probably actually gonna try to talk you out of it, okay? But if you're prepared, you'll be good to go. So the map and the itinerary that you created, give that to your loved ones. Say, hey, this is the trail that I'm going on. This is where it's located. This is where I plan on parking. This is where I plan on camping. And this is what time I plan on being back to my car the next day. Give them that information so they feel just a little bit better about this adventure that you're about to go on. Okay? And the last thing that I like to share is my location. I have a Garmin that I bought a long time ago when I went on the PCT, and I still have it. It's old, it's the big one, but I mean, it works, so I'm not gonna buy another one right now. With that Garmin, I can share my location. I can track where I'm going. And it actually comes with a little website that your family members and friends can log into, and they can see exactly where you are or where you have been. So, and that's not free. That does cost money. There's a subscription I pay for every month. There are different levels depending on how often you're doing that. So that's something that you can get into, especially, or you can decide to purchase if you think you're going to be doing this a lot. If it's your first time, you don't have to spend the money if you don't want to. Definitely make sure you're sharing your location either by that device or from your phone. And you don't have to do it for forever. Just say, I'm sharing my location starting now, and then you can turn it off as soon as you get back. But it just gives your loved ones just a little bit more comfort because you're going to be out there in the woods in the unknown. So those are the 3 things that I share the maps that I printed out, my itinerary, and my location. Okay, the last and final step to get you out there in the backcountry, have fun. Okay, anytime that you are doing something new, it can be a little scary, a little nerve-wracking because of all of the unknowns. But if you've done your research and you have the things that you need to have with you, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Obviously, use your intuition. If something doesn't feel safe or feel right, then back away from that situation. Of course, always watch out for snakes. A lot of times our brain will create more things for us to be scared of than is actually necessary. And yeah, have fun. It's the first, hopefully, of many backpacking trips that you're gonna go on. So you've got this, you can do it, have a blast. And when you get back, I would love to hear how your first backpacking trip went. If you have any questions, any questions that maybe I didn't answer on this video as far as planning for your first backpacking trip, please feel free to write a comment below and I'll try to create a video or just answer your question. I want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable and feel safe and feel empowered to get out there and be one with nature. So have fun on your first backpacking trip. Let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learn something and feel a little bit more confident as far as planning and getting prepared for your first backpacking trip. And I'll see you back here on another one.